getting ready for another motorcycle adventure. Stay tuned. Okay. Well, I had to do some repairs on the old XR. Don't know where to start with that, but the subframe had gotten cracked because I usually carry a gas can here and didn't realize that, it was cracked. You don't realize it until it totally breaks. The brand new pipe's got some dents in it, but that doesn't affect the function. But it's not starting very easy, and the throttle is acting goofy. So, wanted to take it out and test it, but I think I'm going to have to take her apart again, take the tank and stuff off. Went through a series of crashes last week and just beat her up. I got another crack I'm going to have to address down here before it gets super bad. But anyway, I got a subframe off of eBay. You know, the whole bike, if you were to sell an XR, I'd probably get $1,000. With all the stuff that's done to it, I'd probably get $1,000, $1,200 for it. But if you piece it out, it's worth $3,000 or $4,000, So I bought a subframe that looked the best off of eBay. Cost $300. And it was bent. So I had to take the crowbar to it and bend it back. But for the most part, the rest of it wasn't bad. It's pretty straight now, but had to re-tap one of these holes that was boogered up. But anyway, I think it's doing good. We're just gonna scoot down the road real quick. Test it out. Like I said, I might have to go home and take the seat and the tank off and check the carburetor. Doesn't want to start like it used to. I mean, if you crash it, it's a hard starter. But it would usually start on first kick as long as you didn't crash it. But now, something's going on. Doesn't want to start right off the bat. I gotta pretend it's flooded. And then it'll start. So I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Take it apart and figure it out. Because, it usually starts one or two kicks if you haven't laid it on its side. If you laid it on its side and it's sitting there, yeah, it can take 20 minutes to start it. a real pain in the butt, but now it's hard to start after you stop and you want to start it. You gotta treat it like it's falling over on its side. So, something going on with the carburetor. Might be ready for a needle change. I'll have to do that anyway. This particular carburetor wears out carburetor needles. And so I bought a slew of them so I can change them every 6 months or so. And it's probably getting close to that. I should change it anyway. It's getting summertime. You know, it's not my only bike to ride, so the needle doesn't get as much use as it used to. But, I mean, this bike just blows me away with its suspension. I've said that before. You know, this road's pretty rough. This suspension's 20 some odd years old, never been touched, serviced, or anything. You know. And it just eats up the bumps, you know. Compared to my new bikes, seems like you feel everything in the damn road. But oh, look. Freedom security install. Trying to sell security systems on Fort Churchill Road. So, you know, this was my only ride for a long time, for many years, you know, for probably 5, 6 years, I don't know exactly, but it was the only bike I had to ride. And then dirt bike, and then I had it in the shop, and the shop had that little 250 for sale. So I bought that, and that needed help. It didn't run completely right, but you know, that's my Miss Eldorado bike. It's got a trash clutch right now. I gotta replace the clutch, so I have a Recluse in it, which is like an auto clutch, but I don't know if I'll put that back in it. I mean, I really like it. You do lose some power, you know, acceleration power and that kind of stuff, but not sure if I'll put that back in. I really like it, but you know, I'm sure it eats up clutches faster than just a regular clutch. So I gotta get that going because I'll be in Eldorado soon. I hope soon. Another month or so I'll be able to spend some days off in Eldorado. But like I said, I rode this bike all the time. You know, I put a lot of miles on this bike. really, I would say, seriously, it's probably my favorite bike. You know, the biggest thing I don't like about it is the weight. This thing's a pig, you know. It weighs a lot. It weighs at least 50 or 60 pounds more than my Husky 350. Probably weighs 35 pounds at least more than the 250. 250 is a heavy bike too. You know, but as far as it tracks, this thing tracks a straight line. You know, if you go through the sand, it doesn't wallow. My Husqvarna wants to wallow. You know, I gotta put my weight way back on the back to keep it from wanting to wallow in the sand. This XR just tracks straight. You know, it rides high, so it feels like you're sitting on top of it. Whereas, you know, like the Husqvarna makes it feel like you're sitting in the bike, which is, yeah, it's kind of a better feeling than sitting on top of the world. You know, I wouldn't say the XR corners well, you know. It'll hang out and drift nicely, but, you know, the Husqvarna does a lot better on cornering. But anyway, I mean, it's been a really good bike and still got parts for it. Sometimes you gotta pay a premium price for it, but and then of course you gotta buy used parts for it. Sometimes you can find an OEM unused part a parts store is selling. That's what I was hoping for with the subframe. A unmolested subframe. But you know, for how much I've ridden this bike and the abuse it's been through, it's held up really good. You know, you just gotta stay on top of maintenance and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, jibber jabber, you've seen this road a million times. I'm just trying to see if I got trying to see if I have any underlying issues like I've seen. I gotta do something with the carburetor, the pumper carb. Not sure exactly what's going on there. With the bike getting crashed as much as it did last week, the carburetor might have got tipped. The carburetor doesn't fit like the stock carburetor because it's a pumper carb. It's bigger, so it's on a tilt, but it only has like an 1/8 inch worth of adjustment so that the pump will pump and the linkage doesn't get caught on this oversized tank. If I had a stock tank on it, it'd be fine, but I have an oversized tank, so it rubs on the carburetor linkage. I actually had to make my own linkage. I had to cut up some, I think it was a sliding glass door bracket, but I had to cut up a sliding door glass bracket and make my own linkage. I also had to make my own linkage for the throttle cables, you know, which pretty much all works pretty good, but the stock linkage on this pumper carb wouldn't allow me to put it on this bike with this oversized tank because it has regular rods like on a normal carburetor, it had rods, and they stuck out too far, so I had to make a flat rod. I had to make it flat so it would slide next to the gas tank. And it's worked. You know, it's worked for years, so I mean, it could be worn out for all I know. I gotta check that stuff. I was worried about it not lasting this long for sure, but it's worked out pretty good. You know, this bike is heavy, doesn't turn super well, so, but other than that, you know, for rough terrain, it handles pretty good. So I thought that my co-rider, you know, it would work out good for him, because it would be smoother in the rough stuff and track straight, but you know, it just wasn't necessarily the case. But anyway, I don't like my bike sitting around too long and not working, because that just means you let them sit until they rot away sometimes. You know, just gotta keep the old girl running so she doesn't become a parts bike where you piece it out to other people who have running XRs. I'd like to think there's a lot of them out there, but there's probably not many. I know where a brand new one is, has probably less than 300 miles on it. Probably has less than 200 miles on it. It got driven home from the motorcycle shop, got parked in a shed, and it sits there. Never been ridden in the dirt. I tried to buy it, but they wouldn't sell it. Brand new red XR. Forgot what year it is, like a 2000, I think. But it sure is sweet looking. I'm like, I'll buy that right now. You know, when they sold new, I don't know exactly what they cost, but when they sold new, probably $2,500, I don't know. Maybe more than that. Maybe 35 or something. I know this one was bought by an anesthesiologist from Michael Cycles in Carson City, and that was already had a Baja kit on it, so it was street legal on the floor. And I think he paid $59 for it with the Baja kit, you know, so he bought it street legal and ready to go. And then he bought a Husaberg 450, and he said, hey, you want to buy my XR 400? It's just sitting at my garage. I'm like, oh yeah, I want that, for sure. So anyway, this thing's been the bomb forever. Been a good bike. I mean, absolutely zero problems with it in stock configuration. You know, and I rode it in stock configuration for lots of years. Probably 4 or 5 years before I started changing stuff. You know, in stock configuration, it struggled to go 70 miles an hour. I mean, that was top speed for an XR 400, and you had to practically lay on the tank. You know, got 57 miles a gallon pretty consistently, but in stock configuration, the Cayenne carburetors, they have a flat spot off the bottom, so every time you start off from the stoplight, it would it would hesitate and then start accelerating. It almost did that all the time. You know, when you went to accelerate, it would have a hesitation and then take off. That's just a known issue of the stock carb on an XR. Bumper carb took that away immediately, and it just, you know, it accelerates. Won't be taking it apart today. Don't know, maybe this afternoon, it depends, but I really don't like having bikes sitting in the garage that can't be ridden right off the bat if you want to. So lots of water in the river right now. And probably turn this off for a minute. We're almost at the end of this road, Fort Churchill, another mile or so. I'm just gibbering here, trying to be better at conversation. This bike was absolutely a blast when I boarded to a 440. The first time I did it, it was perfect. And I can't remember exactly the exact configuration. But I had a 440. I think I had it at either 10.8 or 11 compression. I'd have to look it up again. And I think I had a J&W piston. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but that thing accelerated hard. It'd go over 90 miles an hour. I mean, it was awesome. Started seeping oil. I mean, my bike, the XR seeps oil now, so. But it started seeping oil, so I was like, well, I'm going to take it in, have that checked out and fixed. But I want to go faster, right? So I bought a, boy, I got a brain fart. Wiseco, yeah. You know, the guys you always used to go to in the old days. Wiseco. I got a Wiseco 12.5 or 12.6 compression, 440 big bore. And just to tell you, I don't necessarily blame it on the Wiseco or the piston, but that sucked. That was going backwards. It would not go 90 miles an hour. It would go 80 something, but it wouldn't go over 90. It kind of lost its top end rev out. It had more torque on the bottom, but yeah, it lost all its rev, it seemed like, going to a higher compression. And it wasn't as fun, and then it blew head gasket. I wasn't as happy with it, so I'd really like to go back to maybe a 426 configuration or a 440, but keep it at 11 or less compression. Yeah. We'll see. You know, right now, when I took it in with the issues it had, I took it in for a valve job, and it threw a valve. Don't know if that was my mechanic's fault or not, but it destroyed the cylinder in the head. So he had the bike for almost a year, and he didn't want to put a bore kit in anymore. He put it back to stock. I'm running the stock piston and cylinder, you know, that has a kabillion miles on it. So it's got a kabillion miles on it, stock configuration. But anyway, it's been a good bike. I'm just gibbering here, so probably used up most of my battery here coming down Fort Churchill. Get Geico. Yeah, I gotta change my insurance company. They can charge them anything. I don't have any accidents, tickets, or nothing. And they just keep raising my insurance. Keep raising it, raise it, raise it. Just keep raising it. You won't notice. Yeah. So, alright, I'm going to make a stop over here. Like I said, I probably used up most of this battery just talking down Fort Churchill, but I'm in a talkity mood, so. Try and get this bike squared away. I like to ride them. I don't like them to sit. So, you know, really I enjoy this bike on long trips, but not so much on exploring because, you know, you drop it. This bike is no fun to pick up. And I'm old, so, you know, hate to say it, but it's harder and harder for me to pick this thing up because, you know, my back hurts and blah, 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 blah. This is a little park over here by Fort Churchill. Old motors are pretty awesome. Oh, new roof. Awesome. Wow. So, my nephew was riding super good for barely having any motorcycle experience, and I put him on an XR 400. But, you know, I have no idea how he was riding the bike. I noticed when he was riding, it was seeping a lot of oil. So, I don't know if he was keeping it in a lower gear and revving the shit out of it, or whether he was lugging it. I don't know. Because it was just bleeding oil out of here. I don't see any now, which is good. But, you know, when someone's riding behind you, you don't really know how they're riding the bike. So I don't know if he was just winding it out, high revs or whatever. So you better run, prairie dog. But at least he didn't blow it up. So, okay, I gotta fix my helmet strap. I stopped back there to use the restroom and got a phone call. I'm like, okay. Didn't really use the restroom, so. Took my helmet strap off. But I don't know if I brought another filming battery, so I don't know if I'm going to have very much video of this trip. Because I might have forgot to bring another battery, so I've been using it up for the last hour. I'm going to cut it off here. You know, one of the I never saw any of his crashes, but you know, I just lost track of him, turned around, and he was picking up the motorcycle. So one of his crashes over here might have been one that could have caused a lot of the extra, I don't know if I can even say extra, but helped out the damage that was already happening with the bike. And, you know, I tried to keep them on easier roads. I didn't take them up this road because it's kind of sandy. I took them around. But there's one, like, minor hill climb. Not super steep, but steep, you know. I told him, hey, you know, if you need to, just keep it in first gear and motor up it. And then I didn't see him behind me, and I'm like, where'd he go? And he was completely off the road, down in the bushes and the rocks. I'm like, how'd you get down here? You know, but this XR will just chug along, you know. I mean, I've got it geared high. Because I want to go 70 on this without it sounding like it's puking its guts out. You know, I could have taken them. You see that road goes around there. It's not as steep of a hill, but it's full of rocks. So I was like, do I take them over rocks? You know, because that could be kind of hard too. Do I take them through rocks, over rocks, or do I take them up a short hill climb? So maybe I should have taken him over the rocks, because he didn't make the short hill climb. And he didn't crash on the road. That was the hardest thing I couldn't understand. I'm like, how'd you get off the road? And in the bushes. I think he was riding the downside of the road all the time, and I was telling him, try to ride the high side. because gravity wants to pull you down. So try to ride the high side of a road. You know, that way you have a road to go across if gravity's pulling you. So this is the hill right here. And he ended up in that gully down there. So I'm in first gear right now. I just told him keep it in first. And he ended up in there. So I think he was riding the downside of the road, and then he lost traction, or, you know, and went off in the bushes and blah, blah, blah. But anybody new to riding, you know, you always watch your terrain, stay out of gullies, and try to ride, you know, when there's an off-camber road, try to ride the high side of the road if you can. Sometimes you can't, but to tell him shift without the clutch. You know, you just let off the gas and shift. The only thing you gotta worry about is downshifting. You can't be on high revs, you know, or for one, that'll lock up the rear wheel, but you know, you can downshift when you're off the gas. But that takes one action out of the equation, right? So you don't have to worry about pulling in the clutch, especially if there's bumps and rugged terrain. You don't have to worry about pulling in that clutch. That's another action, you know, that the mind is processing. Anyway, I'm gonna shut this down and just tootle along. I'll turn it on after we go down the road a bit. Like I said, I'm probably gonna run out of battery on this trip. I forgot to grab another one. I might have one in my backpack, but I doubt it. So, alright guys, see you soon. Some antelope trotting down the road here. You can see them. I only see one. There he goes, out in the bush. I didn't look around, of course, but I only saw one antelope. One cantaloupe, there he is. There's got to be some more around, right? So, just cutting over here. There's the road that comes across parallel. Gotta be careful of that. It'll throw you off your bike. But I stopped back there for a minute. Okay, sweet. So I did have another battery in my backpack. And yeah. So I can continue doing some video on the way home. So you know the routine here. I'm in Yerington, and with the XR, last week didn't go like planned, and the XR, we found out about a lot of shortcomings. The subframe broke, and it was probably cracked to crud, you know. It probably had all kinds of cracks in it, because I carry a gas can back there. And it was full, and I carry it around all the time, just in case. Well, you know, that's extra weight bouncing up and down on the subframe. So I think I'll refrain from that and just do gas can on there when I'm going on long trips, right? Yeah. But anyway, brought it over here to Yerington. Seems to be doing good. I did notice last week when we pulled into Yerington, it was seeping just a ton of oil. It was doing that the whole time it was being ridden. But if you can see there now, I don't really see any seepage. It looks like there's still some old oil from last week, but so not really sure what was going on last week. It was an unusual week, but I think God was just wanting us to stay close to home. So anyway, breakfast of champions, you know. I usually try the whipped strawberry. That's one of my favorites, but today it's going to be whipped orange. I haven't tried that one, and I got me a fruit parfait. You know, a little bit of healthy stuff. And then, of course, I got my fruit apple pie. So we'll talk to you soon. Bye. All right, leaving Yerington. Nice rest area. Almost a little bit cold there. Until next time, Yarrington. Sorry. Sorry about that.
All right. Time to head home?
Yeah. Went over and had my makeshift lunch in Yarrington.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I like to do that. I just go to the Golden Gate there. I grab gas and I just grab a few items in there and go over to the rest stop.
Okay.
It's the only place there's a rest stop, right?
Well, really, outside of hundreds of thousands of acres out here, but that's all we got.
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
It is.
You know,
they've
nice. Got one outside of Tonopah.
Yeah.
You know, but rest stops have disappeared. So.
Yeah, they're few and far between. People just don't do that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I love them though.
Well, like you said, because I remember growing up as a kid, you know, parents would go out there and you could have a lunch alongside the road.
Yeah.
Find a rest stop. I used to, my first wife and the kids and I would be at a rest stop somewhere when I'd be out there working, and you know, it's just nice.
Yeah, exactly.
And they keep that rest area right there in Yarrington really clean.
They keep it immaculate. Yeah.
So it's nice.
You know, they had one in Carson for a long time, and then they destroyed it. So.
Yeah. Well, Carson grew up too fast.
Yeah.
Too big.
Yeah.
You know, the sad thing is, like, you're from Dayton, and Dayton's getting there too.
Yep.
You know, I'm glad where I am.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I really appreciate Yarrington, but like I said, we're growing up way too fast too.
Yeah. Well, I notice it, you know, but that's why I like coming over here. It's still pretty calm, you know.
Yeah. The sad thing is, behind our house out there, we back up to the desert on, you know, I said on the east side of the valley there, but they're starting to dump trash and everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they do that all over Dayton. You know, there's every time I go out there. Well, when I came over the hill You know, I had the video on. And I was telling them, "Oh, look, another abandoned car that's going to get all shot up." And then I saw you moving. You know.
Okay. That
Yeah,
was me. It
but
was me.
there's some out there. You know, there's every week there's a new vehicle dumped out in Dayton. You know, where they vandalized it or tore it up. Have you been down Fort Churchill for a while?
No.
It
It's been
became
a long time.
it became the homeless community.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah. So there's motorhomes and all kinds of stuff in there, and tore up ones. You know, it's almost a Trashville now, going down Fort Churchill Road. You know.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been up that way in a long time.
Yeah. Take a drive down Fort Churchill. It'll break your heart. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah, I mean it's good to take a drive, but like I said, you know, I'm always out. I've been riding this desert for 40 years. You know, when nobody was out, all you'd run into is farmers. You know, out tending to their stuff for their cattle or the sheep, but you know that's all you'd find out here. Now, if I get off a motorcycle and walk 20 or 30 yards here, I'm going to find beer bottles and.
Oh, yeah. That's the whole thing. I mean, I was out here the other day. I think I picked up a darn near six-pack out here.
Yeah.
Empty, but I picked them up. You know, if I find garbage in the desert, I'm bringing it back. I brought wire and stuff like this back.
Yeah. Well, we used to get blamed for all the destruction in the desert, you know, the motorcyclists. I mean, I've had my bike impounded before for not riding on streets, for riding in the dirt. You know, they chase you down and impound you. And now UTVs, they drive all over the streets and they don't care.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go get some lunch.
Good.
I'm heading home.
Where are you going to go eat at?
I'll go to the house.
Oh, okay. You have any favorite places in Yankton?
Actually, probably the nicest place, there's about 3 of them. Have you been going east out of Yerington on 95? Have you been to the Country Sunflower?
I don't think so.
You go past the fairgrounds.
Yep.
So you're going like you're going to Schurz.
Okay.
There's on the left-hand side, on the north side of 95, you'll see a sign that says cafe or something like that, or gas. Or
I've seen it. Yep.
Stop in there.
Okay.
Grab lunch. They do a really good job of lunch. And then in Yerington, if you like Mexican food, El Altino.
Yeah, I've been there. Uh-huh.
Good one. And then, what is it, Tailgaters.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
Those are the good ones.
Okay. All right.
And we stay out of the casinos. They've gotten expensive.
Yeah.
A bunch of jerks in there. And so prefer to deal with the little guys.
Right. Exactly.
Those are about the best places.
The homegrown places.
That's
Yep.
it. That's it.
All righty, sir.
You take care.
Yeah, it's very nice to meet you. Have a
Me
good
too
day.
again. You do
Be
the
safe.
same. Take care.
Hopefully, I'll see you out here again.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
I'd love it.
That's
Yep.
my favorite spot right there where you
Yeah. Well, I love it over here. You know, like I said, every now and then, you know, most of the time I do straight traveling, but sometimes I'll chase these roads. You know, a lot of them are just dead ends, you know. But I'll go up some of the other dirt roads, you see. They just go up to a mine pile, you know.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's fun to go up there and just look around.
Yep.
You know, if I see an interesting rock, I pick it up.
There you go. Yeah.
I can't help it.
All right, have a good one.
Sure, do the same.
Gone just like that. flowers in the desert. I'm a flower in the desert. Well, I don't think the XR is doing too bad. I think she's a happy girl. She might have been a little bit confused last week and thought I was giving her away or something. Might have made her feel deserted. You know, like, hey man, who's riding me? Did you give me away? Did you sell me? Bikes have feelings and personalities also. You may think they don't, but they do. Wow, wow, wow. This is the rough part of this road. Lots of rocks sticking up. Little bit of silt in here. This can get pretty silty in the summertime. See that? Yeah. You don't have any frickin' traction in silt. I can ride sand, but I never tell you I could ride silt. No! what is it? It says the temperature is like 90. I don't know if it's 90. Doesn't feel like 90. Maybe. Lots of water. Lizard! Better run, squirrel! No. Prairie dog. Little prairie dog. Are you a happy girl? Are you a happy girl? You're not getting sold or something, huh? Yeah. Sliding into home. Riding. Yeah! Stick. Oh yeah, I just remembered I might have air pressure kind of high. Kind of scooting around on the front and on the back. I think I put the air pressure high for my nephew, so he wouldn't get any rock flaps. Cow moves. Better pay attention to your driving. This could be another long video that nobody wants to watch. Any snakes today, but lots of lizards. Choo-choo! Yeah, so my nephew coming up this somehow ended up in there where that big rock is. I'm not sure how he did that, but that might have contributed to some of the damage that surfaced the other damage that was already there. I know he didn't break the subframe. There's no way. He would have had to, like, you know, wheelie the bike and loop it out. None of that happened, you know, so subframe was already cracked from me carrying gas can. Wild and crazy ride. Man, I can't tell you how good this feels to be out here. Yeah! It just does. Motorcycle therapy. In the road up here. I know there is. Sticking out. It's ready to eat your tire. I know it is. There it is. Yep. Like, let me eat your front tire. whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, they should paint this line straight. Yeah, what the heck, man? I followed the line that pulled me over for drunk driving. Whoop, whoop. All right, home stretch, homies. I think my girlfriend's happy. Bikes have feelings too. I think she thought I might be selling her last week and she was under a rebellious spirit. She's happy today. She is, she is. Today would have been a great day for a baby trip or a Tonopah trip. What is it? It's like 80 some degrees. Very nice. Very nice out. I could see those headlights coming, peeping through the bushes. shutting her down. You've already seen Fort Churchill a million times. And we're just heading home. So until my next adventure, God bless. Yeah, sit on the edge of your seat like you can hardly wait. You know? Give me some chat ideas, what you'd like me to chat about. I don't know. But, hallelujah, Jesus. Take care. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Coming up on the military testing facility. At least I'll know where to go to get a tank. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, see here, Dayton kids, they have to drive through a minefield every day going to school. True story. Yep, the horsies are out. Look at the baby horsey.